by Chopin. I love this piece. It's one of 24 etudes that Chopin wrote, and it addresses the technical challenge of parallel sixths and moving sixths all within one hand. The beauty of this is for the developing pianist, it's a built-in exercise, a musical exercise that gives strength, suppleness, and stamina. So I'd like to show you with this beautiful chart that I made, a 3-page chart, how the piece really is laid out with its sections. Starting, we were in the key of D-flat major with this piece. The 5 flats, the black keys. When he starts, he doesn't give us that tonic of D-flat. He starts the piece with the A-flat, the dominant, way down in the bass. So I'm going to start looking at the left hand outline. If I just take our beat notes, and notice this is an all rev time, 2/2 time, and I just take those beat notes, I get 1, 2, 1, 2. Simply dominant, tonic, dominant, tonic. And I get the E flat. Now what goes over that, here comes the challenge, one of many. I'm going to go slowly. This is the left-hand part. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? A little more up to tempo. Now I'm going to be going to the top note with my thumb. Watch my arm angle here. With the right hand now, we start with all these back and forth sixths. Same motive played twice. Then we do an ascent now with the G natural here, getting out of the D flat tonality just for a minute. And right back to G flat. Going on. This time now we get the G flat and we go up strictly chromatically. So it's very important when you're learning this piece to pay attention to the difference in measure 3 and measure 7. Notice that they line up exactly right here. So going on here to measure 7 chromatically, if I redistribute this, this is what we have. Beautiful writing. Putting the hands together here, slowly. That's still D-flat major. Going on now to our third system, we're going to start to get out of that tonality that he set up on the first 2 lines. Let me take the left hand alone. I'm going to play this again as redistribution. This is one of the most powerful tools for learning a piece and getting the inherent harmonic structure very clear in your hearing. When we're jumping with the hand, we can't possibly get that full tonality. But this is what happens with redistribution, starting measure 9. Listen to this beautiful line. That's a pair. Next measure. And this surprise, expecting that. And then going on. And you hear how that rests on the dominant? Very clear resting arrival of A flat major. If I take it as written slowly, I'm going to say these top notes that the thumb has to get and bring out. This is, again, B flat. A. Next pair, G flat, D natural. Notice that's not a sixth. And then, oh, this is a great part here. You're going to use your arms here. Notice there are staccati on the 4/8 notes that we have in the bass with the 5th finger. So we have to go with our arm with a bounce, 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 slur, bounce, slur. And up to tempo. That's a challenge. You want to really pay a lot of attention to the beauty of these charts. You are really going to love practicing from these charts. They're really outstanding. This is a tricky line, so you know exactly how to start that. And when you're finished with that, very easy page turn. It takes us to our development section on page 2. Oh, I wanted to point out also the symmetrical writing here. We have 4 measures on the first system, 4 on the second, 4 on the third. Straightforward, predictable, almost like a grid. I'm mentioning this because towards the end of the piece we get out of that, and it becomes all the more important to notice that. Going on to our second page here, we are development section in A flat major, the dominant. He starts the major 7th in the left. So our 2 chords, tonic, 5/7, 1. Hear that back and forth motive. And then he holds measure 17, is beautiful. E flat 5/7 chord resolves measure 19. Now that's a pedal point. That means that the tonality of A flat is holding in the bass. It's not moving. It's just keeping it rock solid on our dominant of A flat major. Slowly, listen what he puts above that with the hands together. A 4th in the right hand. Now starting on this second system here, very interesting in F flat here. To the top here. Did you hear that little zigzag pattern of ascending sixths? Very difficult and also very beautiful. When we get to the top, that actual scale, starting measure 17, is sort of built on the A flat major. When we get to the top, the crest, and notice I put one long phrase mark here. So beautiful because it is one unit. It is one long 4 measure ascending and descending cascade. You need to practice it like that out of context in your sleep. You can start here. I know right where I am. That F flat in the right hand and my pedal point in the bass. Now coming down, we're going back to Dflat major. It's so beautiful. Isn't that glorious? These alternating sixths back and forth, and for the first time the hands had the parallel sixths, like a duet. We didn't get that duet at all in the piece until this point. And that sets up at measure 21, you guessed it, the recapitulation. These 2 lone little measures. Why did I put these 2 all by themselves here? Well, it's a recapitulation. It's exactly like the beginning. So I've already learned that. I go on now to the final and most important point in the piece, page 3. This is where everything is leading to. I think this is one of the most stunning things. And one of the things I'd like to remind you of, those ambitious budding pianists and concert pianists, everybody is preoccupied with the technical challenges, which are enormous, of this piece. But please find the music in it. The music is always the bottom line. And when we're focused on turning this into a piece of music and an interpretation of the beauty of the harmonies and the melodic lines, that becomes our primary focus. And the technique serves that. That's our goal, is to make this a beautiful piece of music. All right, going on to our page 3, which is really where the whole piece is going. Starting on measure 23 with the left hand redistribution. This is the full chordal outline. Listen to how exquisite this is. At the top, an octave high. Now let's put this with the left hand alone so you can see why I'm making the focus so important here of this hidden harmonic line. This is difficult to play. We have to get these moving notes that I have with the thumb. Here's that bounce, bounce again. Arm, 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 arm. You're pulsing with your arms on this. Arm, arm. It's just so beautiful. That's typical Chopin to give that. And that's a B double natural. He could have written A natural, A flat, but he doesn't want that. He wants to keep the 7th step going from the B to the A flat. Look what he does in the right hand, beginning on measure 23. These are all parallel sixths. Slowly. Wave. G natural, G flat. Now slowly hands together here. This is your most important line in the piece. This is actually what I call the golden jump point of the piece. It's where the whole piece is leading. This is the thing you need to know cold. Notice that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures. That's what I was talking about earlier. He's building this, and because of this addition, I can put all 5 measures under one phrase mark. How fabulous is that? You will not find that anywhere else. And if you want to get your chart, you go to my website, sallychristianmusic.com. I promise you, you will not want to learn this piece any other way. And if you've already learned it, you'll want to study it from here and just see the new things you're going to find. So hands together. Now what we've got here at that resolution, that tonic, the D flat, for the first time, the D flat is on the downbeat. It's D flat for sure. And now another fabulous long descending line, 4 measures. And this is really incredible. Let's take the left hand again first, and I'm going to show you these incredible bouncing harmonic outline. Listen to this with redistribution. That's not fabulous. And this, way in the bass, 5/7. So how does he do this with one hand? Slowly. Repeat down an octave. Now this time, notice that we have a single note here. The first time when we did that, we had a fifth. The second time it's just single notes. I was really happy to find that. I really put it in my mind that the last time through I jumped with just the two. That's the difference between these two and down the octave here. The right hand, it also has its repetition of the two measure phrase and then down the octave. Slowly. Notice I'm pulsing with vibrations. This is really the technique of this, to root the hand into the key and use your whole arm like a pneumatic drill to get these vibrations. That's how you don't get stuck in the keys and you keep relaxed and you get your speed. It takes a long time to get this technique of vibrations. What I do on these to pull 5-1, 5-2, 5-2, 4-1. Pull with that upper arm. I know, mark these little arrows to pull down. You have to use your arms when you play, especially with something where you're all splayed out like this. You've got to get the fulcrum with the arms. Now when we put the hands together, comes the last phrase, the coda of the piece, and the reason I made the chart in the first place. I was having a hard time getting this right hand to go all the way to the top without breaking down. And I'll tell you why, because we have this sixth here, which is our D-flat major, sixth, up an octave once, twice, thrice. And you can't stop. This is like going up a staircase 30 rungs and you never get a chance to stop. There's no landing and there's no way you can stop your stride. Once you start, that's it. That's the challenge we have here. These are the hardest things physically and psychologically. So what I did, ta-da, your practice addendum. I actually had to break this down with the fingerings into smaller subsets. So, starting with measure 32, I pulse with the 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 4, 1, these arm pulls. Now taking a look at this, this is a chromatic ascent. So if I were to take the two hands with redistribution, not so hard, but he doesn't do that. You have to do that all with one hand. If I take the bottom part, it's all with the thumb and the second finger. And on the white keys, it's all thumb. So that part alone, I'm going to say always 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Like that. It's very difficult above it. It's just 4s and 5s with the 5s on the whites. Put them together. This is what you have to track and play legato. It's so difficult. This addendum will help you. And there's one last thing you get with your chart, this absolutely beautiful satellite view. This is the vertical grid. And I've made little notes to myself about the long line and put, oh, look at this. This is so cool. The length, the number of measures per phrase, the symmetry. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, 5, 4, and counting that last chord, it makes 5, but it's really 4. So what I recommend when you think you have this piece memorized, get your satellite view. Just put it on, you can put it on a piece of cardboard and just rest it right here and play through the whole piece. And then you'll see your structures, your opening exposition, your development section, your recapitulation, and your wrap-up, which is the essence and then that absolutely extraordinary moment in the piece. All right, well, I hope this helps you. I certainly recommend that that you start to get this under your fingers at any level. Once you can reach a 6th, it is, for me, this is a really challenging piece because I don't have a very long 5th finger. Most pianists have pretty long 5th fingers. My hand is just a little short, a lot short actually. So it makes it very hard for me to play this piece, but I do anyway. And because of the webbing in the key here, this is the webbing. That part is the part we can actually stretch. Like a ballet dancer, and then they do those incredible positions. We don't know how they do it. This piece will help you to gently stretch the webbing of your hands. And I'll close by telling you the story from my grand teacher, Claudio Arau, that the etudes take a minimum of 5 years. So once you start it, don't even think of performing it for 5 years. It takes that long to get it into the bones, into the fingers, the deep set memory. Thank you so much. Happy practicing.